The dangerous carousel is the best in the world, pumping you up with good old adrenaline. All these exhilarating loops and sharp turns, taken at full speed, irresistibly attract millions of adventurous people eager and ready to test their courage. But despite numerous warnings and safety precautions, some carousels are dangerous. Consider this powerful rocket, or perhaps it is actually a catapult, that nearly crushed people when it tore through the area. Would you like to know more about this incident and its implications? So fasten your seatbelts and sit comfortably. Today we'll look at attractions that had to be closed. Killer Water Park. In the 70s and 80s, safety measures were more of an exception than the rule, as proven by Action Park. It is often called collective lawsuits due to numerous injury claims against it. For a while, it was considered the most dangerous amusement park in the world. It opened in New Jersey in 1978, and all the attractions there were insane. At first, upon entering the park, you could see the loop Cannon Core. It was a closed slide hidden in the darkness, where people would slide down, experience the thrill as they passed through the twisting loop, and then be thrown into the cool, refreshing water below. But inside there were no cushioning pads, and sliding down the hard plastic, many people ended up toothless. Nearby was the Colorado River Ride, a crazy version of the classic slow attraction. People sat in large circles, and they were slammed against one wall or the other, breaking their knees, feet, and hands. And finally, there was Surf Hill, a slide with several lanes that, due to its strange design, literally catapulted people upwards on the slightest bump. Ouch! I have bruises just from watching the video. The attractions were so dangerous. One reputable insurance company did not insure the park, so its CEO, Eugene Malvi, he strategically established his own company and illegally insured the park, revealing that these individuals are moments away from committing fraud. Despite this, the Cannon Loop Core operated for a whole month, but then it was closed after a couple of complaints about broken noses and back injuries. But this was only the tip of the iceberg. The park reported only 14 fractures and 26 head injuries. Over 18 years, the real number was clearly much higher. And that's not even the worst, because in this amusement park, there have been numerous other issues. 6 people died before it was closed in 1996. Apparently, it was not so much a water park as a watery grave. Dangerous descent. Berry Farm calls itself California's #1 amusement park. That would be true if not for the number of serious incidents. Since 1983, at least 16. 16 people were injured and died while riding the park's 40 attractions. But one incident on the popular water slide Dangerous Descent was mysterious. When it opened in 2000, the slide had a record height. 35 meters and a very steep descent that made hearts pound and shirts get wet. Despite the height, passengers were held by a railing and seatbelt. Overall, it was a problem for larger individuals. In 2001, a woman weighing over 130 kilograms fell from a height of 30 meters into a shallow pool. Unfortunately, she died. But when the cart returned, her seatbelt somehow remained fastened. No one could understand why the belt didn't restrain the woman, until the coroner noticed that it was 20 centimeters shorter than the circumference of her waist. She buckled the belt above her legs, and then, when the sharp descent from a height began, they shouldn't have let her on the carousel. Her family sued the amusement park. However, following a relatively short period of closure, the attraction has been successfully reopened with the installation of new restrictors, thereby ensuring that no passenger will now slip out. Das ist verrückt. The word verrückt means crazy or mad, and it's the perfect name for the tallest water slide. It is located in Kansas, in Schlitterbahn Park. Its height is a whole 51 meters. Passengers fly off the descent, which is equivalent to 17 stories. And then it swiftly accelerates as it speeds down a 5-story slope, attaining a velocity of 100 kilometers per hour. It looks truly very impressive. However, as you can imagine, the design process of such a slide did not proceed entirely smoothly. So not entirely smoothly, that during tests, boats that weighed over 400 kilograms simply flew off the slide. But instead of improvements, the creators simply covered most of the attraction with a net, so people wouldn't fly off. I'm not an expert, of course, but even to me, it seems unsafe. But Schlitterbahn made a couple of large donations to the state of Kansas, and according to the law, he was allowed to conduct his safety inspections, where it was already more suspicious, having calculated that each car could hold For safety reasons, the popular attraction, officially opened in 2014, allows approximately up to 249 kilograms of weight capacity. All of this led to tragic events. In 2016, a 10-year-old boy died when he was thrown directly onto the net. In the same car, 2 women were seriously injured, and the police began an investigation. The total weight of 3 passengers was allegedly safe, while the overall weight was 247 kg. A young boy in the front row weighed 33 kg, according to expert analysis. Such an uneven weight distribution led to the car lifting into the air. This should have been detected during inspections. Due to clear violations of safety regulations, the attraction was closed in 2016, and now amusement parks cannot conduct safety inspections on their own. A trebuchet, a type of medieval catapult operated by humans, hurled large objects more simply by using a counterweight mechanism, making it ideal for siege warfare. Sieges, as the projectiles destroyed city walls and flew over them. Of course, no one would be so foolish as to strap a person to such a catapult. Actually, no. Back in the 1990s, a local sports club in England constructed an exceptionally large trebuchet on a private estate located in Somerset. Its sole purpose was to launch people into the net, for only £40 or approximately $140. Anyone who wished could climb into the catapult and then fly at an altitude of 30 meters above the ground. Well, can you imagine how safe that was? A woman named Stella Young unexpectedly managed to fly into the net and then bounced off of it, tragically resulting in her breaking both her neck and pelvis during the accident. But instead of closing the attraction permanently, the club simply installed a considerably larger net, and people sat inside a ball in order to ensure they wouldn't bounce excessively when landing. Obviously, trebuchets are not very accurate, and this became clear in 2002. A student named Kastadin Yankov, who eagerly tried out this particular attraction for the very first time, was thrown so far that he didn't reach the net at all, and in the end, he died. After this incident, the stupid attraction finally ended. Wings, which was inevitable and probably should have been done earlier. Deadly Fujin Raijin. Explolant was a popular amusement park in Japan since 1972. Fujin Raijin Debut was one of the most famous attractions. Created in 1992, it sent passengers who were securely strapped into a thrilling and exhilarating ride experience. Test driving along a long track at a speed of 113 km per hour. It was successful and operated smoothly for a full 15 years. However, in 2007, just before entering a curved section of the track, the axle of the second car's wheel suddenly broke, causing the car to tilt. It traveled more than 300 meters before crashing into the barrier, and the entire car came to a sudden stop. As a result, 1 girl died, and another 19 people were injured. During the investigation, it was revealed that the wheel axles had never been replaced for 15 years. Moreover, these axles were not even inspected during scheduled attraction checks. This incredible oversight led not only to the death of a young girl, the entire park was closed during the investigation. They completely dismantled it, and when the park was reopened in 2015, no one came. Expolant lost people's trust, and 2 years later, it was closed again, this time for good. Fascist machine. The design of carousels can be divided into 3 categories: good, bad, and finally, just horrible and nightmarish. Anyone who knows history will understand that this attraction belongs to the last category. This miracle of modern design was called Adlerflug, which can be translated as Flight of the Eagle. It was installed in Tasmania Park in Leofingen, Germany. Yes indeed. Unfortunately, in Germany, the situation gets progressively worse every minute. The attraction was created in 2019. The rotating seats were supposed to look like eagles. When they lifted and began to rotate, passengers spun in the sky like birds. But from a distance, this rotating attraction looked like a swastika, which is notorious in Germany and around the world. Moreover, the display of this symbol of hate is banned by law throughout the country. The mistake was quite innocent, and the owner, Rudiger Braun, apologized for the offense caused. But instead of closing the attraction, he asked to cut 2 seats on each side. And now, as they spin, they look like a normal attraction, not a promotion of fascism. You would survive in these crazy rides if they were still in operation. Maybe you know of other examples? Let us know in the comments below the video. Thank you for watching.